Andy, into the game, you looked pretty animated there and looked like you were looking across the court and into the stands. Who were you sharing that moment with?
I didn't hear your question, Harrison, sorry.
Looked like at the end of the game you were pretty animated and looked across the court and into the stands. Was that a special group?
I don't have a clue what you're talking about. I'm just excited that we're able to come in into a hostile environment, have a chance to finish the season sweep. I thought Mississippi State played awfully well. We were not as productive early. We were fortunate. I told our group we were fortunate to be down 5 at the half. But the way that we played, they dominated us on the glass. We couldn't manufacture much offensively. Continued to challenge the guys. Stephen Moody just took the game over in the last 4 minutes. Made hard shots. We were able to get enough stops to get out.
Moody's 3 threes in a row. Were they all the same action?
No, different actions. I challenged guys in the huddle, and he's the only guy that responded. The only guy. That's sad a little bit for me, but he was the only guy that even showed a pulse. So we ran it to him. He made one, and you know me well enough to know if you make one, I'm gonna see if you can make 7. And he made 3 straight huge.
Why is Moody so good in such? He gets separation even at 5'9". Why do you think he can step up in situations like that?
Well, number one, he's a monster athlete. He can get separation on anybody. I think what has gotten better with him is he's starting to accept the role of our go-to guy. That's difficult for a guy to do right out of the gate, especially a guy that has not played at this level. I think he's much more comfortable understanding that we're going to go to him in those situations. His IQ is better as it relates to reading the screening action. Obviously, as a guy that's getting around 17 a game in the league play, he's not going to get many clean looks. I thought State was running him off a lot of the pin-down action. So we tried to make some adjustments to our screening action and get him a look, and he did the rest.
So the rebounding advantage swung from the first to second half. That offensive rebound by Saez down the stretch.
Yeah.
Was that, you thought, a big swing other than Moody's stuff?
We've got to do a better job on the glass. We've been about middle of the pack in the league in rebounding margin. They just crushed us early off the offensive glass. In the second half, I believe we were +8, shot 50% from the floor, only turned it over 2 times, and then again, Moody was the guy. When you look at it statistically, him and Sebas were the guys that really played well for us down the stretch, and we were able to overcome some poor performances out of other guys.
Can you remember anybody, particularly here, playing as well for you in this game that Moody did tonight?
Oh, man, you're testing me. We've obviously only won in here twice. I do remember the other time that we did win. Tarico White was a freshman, and Tarico has some of the same athletic abilities and his ability to rise up and make plays without much separation. They're similar in that regard. Obviously, Tarico was about 6'4", and Moody's about 5'10", but when he gets it going, again, 8 big threes for us, he's difficult to stay in front of.
Do you think him or any of some of those other newcomers really cared about this? I know you guys haven't.
They don't like the Ole Miss people sit down. It's just good.
Do you think that they cared about that? Did y'all talk, the history you guys had in this building?
This is not popular, and because of the fans of the state, they live and die. I get it, but this is just another game to us. We obviously talk about it as it relates to the importance in a lot of people's eyes, but we can't live in that world. We just can't. It's about preparing, putting our guys in a situation where we can make plays. It's fortunate that we won. It'll be a much easier bus ride home, but the reality is if we made this the Super Bowl, like you can in the Egg Bowl, because regardless of what happens after that game, there's a break. There's an extended break to regroup. We don't have that. I got to turn around and play again Saturday. So for us, it was a win based on the numbers. Mississippi State is much better than their numbers. Their RPI was the lowest in the SEC, borderline 200. Those are one of the games that, as difficult as it is to come in here and win, it doesn't give you the pop from a numbers standpoint. I think our team has passed the eye test. It has. Now our numbers have to make sense. That's why this game is so important, to keep our numbers moving forward.
Because of that, did this feel in some ways, regardless of the rivalry, like what you really needed to have as far as the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I was excited at the end simply because I didn't think we played well, and I was proud of my guys for winning a hard road game where you don't play well. We won 4 straight on the road, and it's probably the first time in those 4 I didn't feel like we played well. So for us to win under those circumstances, again, I think it's something positive that we can build on.
Andy, having to make a quick turnaround for Tennessee now.
It's not easy, but we did this last weekend. Everybody has to go through it. We did this last weekend, last second shot at Florida, made the trek home, obviously lose with 6 seconds to play in our own building against Arkansas. It was a little bit different simply because we'd played Arkansas before. This, we have not played Tennessee, and they play an unusual style as it relates to that that matchup zone. So we're gonna have a very productive day tomorrow.
You think that was a point where you're as comfortable with Terrence in the game running the point as you are with Jarvis?
I got a lot of things I could say there, but the safe thing to say is Terrence played well. I thought he was really good for us with his decision-making, made a couple of huge shots in the first half, which I think kept us afloat when we were struggling in all other areas. Down the stretch, though, I still trust Jarvis. Even though he obviously is not having his finest moment, he's the guy that I still trust. We ran a play for him. He hit a tough floater, but Terrence Smith has been very, very valuable for us.
Thanks, Coach.